It's another episode of the fun-loving happiness. That's what we call Wearable Today. Episode number 96, Dark Mist. My name is Jeffrey Powers, and today we're going to talk about the fake wearable. There's some Apple Watches out there that aren't really Apple Watches. There's some Moto 360s that aren't really Moto 360s. And there's some Jeffrey Powers out there that's not really Jeffrey Powers. I don't know, kind of weird. But we've got that. We're going to talk about Android Wear and their updates. We're going to talk about Oral Roberts University. We're going to talk about Tulsa and how they're going to, they got the wearables strapped to people's wrists and all that. All that and more on this episode of Wearable Today. And that's brought to you by our friends over at CashFly. Go over to CACHEFLY.com for more information. And we're a proud member of the Maker Max community at max.maker.com. Hey everybody, Jeffrey Powers here with Geekazine. Think Magazine, put in a geek. You got me and fake me, or as I like to say, faux me. And of course we're doing the show here with our co-hosts, the guy and the gal with the plan, Mr. Luke Wallace and Bertie.
Hi, my name's Jeffrey Powers. You can find me at Geekazine, Think Magazine, put in a geek, and you've got who I am. I am the real Jeffrey Powers. No, I'm sorry. I'm just a knockoff. My name is actually Luke Wallace. Much more disappointing. You can find me on Twitter at Luke Luca. You can email me for the show, Luke at wearabletoday.com or Bertie at wearabletoday.com.
BertieToday.com?
BertieToday.com.
BertieToday.com.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
No, that is not right.
Well, let's talk with Bertie's ancestors, not really ancestors, and let's get into the first segment we always like to call... Bertie, okay? Okay.
Yeah.
The first segment we like to call Big News, Little Arms, and a Bertie.
I'm up. Sorry.
Yeah, you're up.
Android Wear has new updates coming soon. New gestures are being added that allow more hands-free navigation. Devices return to an ambient mode even quicker when you drop your wrist. And you can even make calls from your watch if it has a speaker built in. On top of this, the second generation Moto 360 is already receiving this update, which includes better indoor run tracking that can interface with apps like Map My Run and Fitbit.
I'm going to say Oral Roberts. Oral Roberts University is taking an interesting approach to keeping their students in shape. All students are being required to wear Fitbit activity trackers and sync the data with the school system so they can be monitored by the staff members. The Tulsa, Oklahoma-based school hasn't yet heard of any outcry from students or parents, but some privacy advocates are saying that this should be an opt-in instead of required type situation right there. You can read more over at wearable.com.
And if you're watching Wearable Today, like you are right now, or listening,
you should.
Yeah. If you're not, you should, but you probably are, because how else would you hear this? So anyway, since you're listening to this show, you're probably already ahead of the curve on knowing about all the upcoming wearable technology. But we found an article that looks even further into the future with this article over at the Washington Post. Here they discuss some wear tech that augments your body's strengths and gives it a place to sit, plus some stealth technology that can be built into your clothes to hide you from eyes above. We're talking drones, people. And technology that uses your body as the conduit for information. So your body is like the wires. It's crazy. But that's the future over at thewashingtonpost.com.
Your body is a wonderland. Wait, what? No.
Of the future.
Of the future. We can rebuild them. We've got the wearable technology. $6 billion, though. Anyway, let's move on here. If you have I have a caffeine addict. I mean, just look at me. I'm shaking all the time. And it's a caffeine addict. I've got a caffeine addiction. If you've got a caffeine addiction, then you should take a look at this next wearable. Joule. Is that how you pronounce it? Joule?
No, Juul.
Juul? Oh, I was going to say Joule. Joule.
Angelina Jolie?
Yeah. But it's Juul. So these foolish
like the other artist,
wearables.
like a singer?
Yeah, something like that. So Juul Jewel. Jewel, you can have Jewel on your wrist. Hey, that's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty nice.
Jewel is a wrist strap that provides 65 milligrams of caffeine over 4 hours. The creator claims that this is a faster way to get your fix and better than the ups and downs of drinking coffee. Right now, the product is launching on Indiegogo with a delivery date of later this year. And of course, if you have a caffeine rush of more than 4 hours or more, you should go consult your doctor.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't work out too well. I tried that joke. We need a laugh track.
You gotta work on that a little bit.
Yeah, we need. Where's the laugh track? Can we pull those up anymore? No.
I don't see it.
Okay.
I don't see it.
Yeah. Well. All right.
So our last story: can WearTech make you an artist? Mikhail Joala thinks so. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that properly. So
it's pronounced Jewel.
There. Oh, Jula? Jewel? Okay. So
I don't know.
This guy, MJ, I'll call him, has created a device to do just that. Yes, the spray painter uses a smartphone and a spray gun with a light on it to automatically create works of art just by waving your hand over the surface. So you set up the smartphone to point at the area that you want to paint, and then you run the spray gun over the surface. Then as you do that, the smartphone triggers the spray painter to start and stop spraying up to 200 times per second. And so by using multiple colors of spray paint, you can make a full color graffiti design that's much more complex than your own skills may allow. The Indiegogo campaign has already fully funded, so you can just kind of pre-order this thing, and early backers are expecting to get their $149 device in July of this year. Current openings, looking at the Indiegogo earlier today, if you order now through Indiegogo, you can get it in December. So pretty cool, actually. The video is really interesting to check out on that one. So it's over at gizmag.com, I think is how it's pronounced.
Gizmag.com, that is right. I watched the video this afternoon. It was really sweet. This guy was painting his wall. He had the iPhone. I guess you have to get a tripod too, and something to mount your phone on. But yeah, you just sit there and you just go like this, and it's kind of like a inkjet printer. It knows where to spray and where not to spray, and it didn't have much splatter. And you don't have to go line by line. You can just go like up and down, arc around and stuff like that. Yeah. So that was pretty cool. I can't wait to check that out, and we'll have to talk to the people and see if we can get one and do some wall graffiti somewhere.
Yeah, or maybe we'll reach out to these Indiegogo campaigns and see if any of those people would like to come on here and help promote it. Yeah. I think it'd be neat if we could get them on.
That's not a bad idea. So, all right, well that does it for this segment we call the big news and the little arms. You didn't see him do it, but normally he grabs the cup and puts it like this. But since Birdie was on his other shoulder, he became ambidextrous. So good job in being ambidextrous there.
Have to use my special cup and go back and forth down to the mic and cause that echo effect. It's pretty neat. Now it's like I'm in a big empty room, as opposed to normally where it sounds like I'm in a big empty room.
I can do that for you without the big dinosaur cup. It fill you up. Let's have a party. Mm-hmm. So anyway, it's been a wild week. I'm going to start really quick because I'm very excited about this. Last week I got the new router, which has been working perfectly. But this week, today was like Christmas all over again, birthday all over again. As I got a brand new mixer, and this technically is somewhat WearTech. It's wild. It's called the QSC TouchMix 16, and what it is a 16-channel mixer, which I bought mostly for the band and being able to mix, because we have a nice mixer, but it's over 10 years old, and the new technology allows you to do all these extra things like EQ and compression and pitch voice so I can sound like T-Pain if I wanted to, but not. And I haven't had it set up yet because I've only had it for a day. And you know how it goes with technology. You've got to put it into place right away. So that's what I did. And the best part is, and this is what makes it wearable, is I can hook it up to. Drop all my mobile devices. Yeah. I could hook it up to any of my mobile devices, Android, iOS, and I can control the sound. So I can mute Luke right there. So he could be talking and say absolutely nothing, and then I just unmute him.
Oh, okay, good. I'm back. I was afraid.
And then I mute him again. So, and I can do this from here. The mixer's right over there. So if you ever watch, you might be at a concert and you see some guy with an iPad, look like they're checking their Facebook, but they're not checking their Facebook. They're actually mixing the show, which is pretty cool. I like.
Yeah, it's actually very cool.
So I'm sorry. Say that again.
It's very.
Oh, I muted him again. Oh, that's too bad. So. But I'll be fine tuning this within the weeks. We might have a little bit of hiss and hum in here. I'm hoping to be able to just to really dive in. I only know like 3% of the functionality that this mixer can do, and I will be at 100% hopefully by next week. We'll see. So, how about you, Luke? What's your week been like?
Oh, not too much. It's been pretty typical. Doing some vacation plans. I've had this new little WearTech for a while, this Bluetooth headset, but now I'm using it so that there are no wires going to the computer. So it's one less thing for Birdie to chew on. So that's nice.
What's the headset?
It is I actually grabbed the box because I was checking on some things. It's a Pump HD Sports Buds, but it is waterproof, so that's actually pretty cool. So good for running. Never really had a Bluetooth headset like this. It actually works really well. The audio is really good. It comes with some extra they're underneath, but comes with the extra little what do you call it?
Earbuds. They're basically called silicone implants.
Yes, so that is what
you've got some silicone implants there. So
got some nice stuff.
What's the is it Bluetooth 3 or Bluetooth 4? What
I believe it's
in French too.
Yeah, let's see. It's 3. It's not 4, but it is 3. So there's a possibility if you're not close to the source, you could be cutting in and out there. Does it have a headset to it as well or no? What do you mean? Headset?
Can you use it?
Oh, it's got a microphone.
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe it's got a microphone on it too. Can
you switch that on or no?
I might be able to switch that on right now.
Let's give it a try. Let's see how it sounds, because I have a few of those. I think I just put it away in my drawers. Yeah, here it is.
Okay. I think that's now on that headset.
Okay.
Microphone.
Yeah, you definitely sound like a radio station. And I got the old Jabra. These are the older Jabras, which are really nice. I think they're Jabras. Yeah, they're Jabras.
I'm reporting to you from the field here. We're running into some. There's some aliens landing in the fields out here. Watch out! Is that? Oh no!
You brought it on yourself.
Okay, I've switched back to.
You brought it on yourself. Just keep that in mind. So.
Does that sound any better now?
Oh yeah, no, that definitely, there is a big difference when it comes to that Bluetooth headset as opposed to the microphone you have there right now. What type of USB microphone is that? Is it the brand Generic?
No.
Oh, okay.
It is actually a Rock Band USB microphone.
Oh, the Rock Band one.
The one from Rock Band that I plug into my. Exactly. So I found that it works pretty well.
that wasn't impressive, was it?
It was made to have good dynamic range, I guess, or I hope. So it should be all right.
Okay. Well, that's cool. Anything else happen to you?
I did get something posted to Thingiverse this week on my. So you can build your own wearable tech if you wanted to build or print one of these C3PO eyes that I designed. You'd be able to find that now over on Thingiverse. Just look for C-3PO, the letter O, I, and it should come right up, and you can see a picture of how it looks in the head. And
that is pretty cool. It kind of looks like, episode 7 C3PO, except his arm was red. But you never know when something's going to break, and it could be
exactly.
An eye, it could be a. So how are you going to paint that now, or are you going to paint that?
I will probably paint it eventually using the techniques that I outline in my YouTube series, How to Paint 3D Objects. You can also find on my YouTube channel under Luke Luca 2. And I'll probably be painting it up to look like the other C3PO eyes I've done, where I hit it with a couple layers of paint and then some chroming, airbrush paint, and then some clear coats to protect it. So,
are you going to do any type of patina to it? Yeah, I know that word.
Probably not, just because the natural imperfections cause enough of that kind of weathering variability that I really don't need to do a whole lot to make it look a little worn.
Okay. And it looks like from looking at this picture, it looks like the mask is pretty, or the head's, what do you call that? The helmet, the head?
Yeah, I call it the head, just because I don't know.
Are you gonna patina that up? Put a little blood on it or something? Or?
I might do some weathering to it to dirty it up a little bit. So
cool.
Got a couple ideas in mind, but kind of want to get the whole suit done before I do that.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Get one thing done before you move to the next. I totally understand that. So yeah, I can't work that way. I just gotta. It's like, ooh, new toy, squirrel. Mm-hmm. So. Well, anyway, that's pretty cool. And that's over on Thingiverse.com if you want to check that out.
Yeah, Thingiverse.com, free to download the file and print it out yourself.
Awesome. I will do that and become C3PO. Actually, I said the one character, at first it was Greedo, but then I started thinking about it. It's like when I was a kid, the one character I was really enamored over was Hammerhead, and he was my favorite character when I was like really young. So I think if I was to do any type of, it's not LARPing. Is it?
Cosplay is the generally accepted term.
But it's also LARPing. I mean, it is live action role playing.
In a sense, yeah.
So anyway, cosplay, LARP, whatever you want to call it. I think I would try and do Hammerhead. And you said that there's not too many Hammerheads out there.
I only know of one down in San Antonio that finished up. I forget the guy's name. But
his name is Hammerhead.
Yeah. Okay. It's not what I meant, but yes.
Okay. All right. Well. Okay. Well, that's pretty cool. Good to note and good to go from there. All right. Well, let's pay some homage to our homagers. First of all, go to our social channels: Wearable Today, This Week in Glass. That's the YouTube channel. But Twitter.com/Wearable Today, Facebook.com/Wearable Today. Go like the page. Go follow, go subscribe, be a part of our part that is called Wearable Today, or TUVW, Wearable Today. That's the sign language. So you've learned something there. Anyway, of course, we are a proud member of our RSS feeds. All our bandwidth is over on Cashfly.com. It's a great CDN for you to host your podcast, whether it be audio or video, and they have some pretty reasonable rates there. And of course, they'll give you 1 terabyte, 14-day free trial over at Cashfly.com, CACHEFLY.com, and all the Wearable Today episodes are being hosted on Cashfly. A lot of the Geekazine stuff being hosted on Cashfly. Go ahead and subscribe to the iTunes channel and download the shows and see how well it works. Give it a try if you've got games that you're writing apps, writing games. You need a CDN for the caching. You got podcasts, you got audio, video files, whatever. You can check it out over at cashfly.com. Once again, tell them Geekazine sent you. And then, of course, we've got great deals over at WearTech over at wearabletoday.com/deals. That does link to Amazon's page where they show you all the cool deals of wearables. And, of course, this changes on a regular basis. So right now, it looks like the dubs are up on top there. And you could get a Gear Fit smartwatch. Actually, I took this picture, this screenshot a couple weeks ago. So those prices could change because it's always if they have something in overstock, or if somebody returns something, maybe they got a Samsung Gear Fit, but they got an Apple phone, they wanted an Apple Watch instead, so they turned it in so they could get an Apple Watch. It happens. So, or maybe the band broke or something like that, a small defect. So you get them at a discounted price, and everybody wins. And that's over at wearabletoday.com/deals. That supports the site. So please, 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 please go over there, wearabletoday.com/deals. And then, of course, if you want to leave a tip, go over to paypal.me/Jeff Powers and put into the line, of course, for Wearable Today. So I can give Luke 10% of 50% of 30% of 20% of 50% of 10% of 30% of 20% of another 20%. So
yeah, sounds good.
But then they can always go to your site, which is called
biglettershirt.com for all your big letter shirt needs, and use coupon code WearTech to get 10% off.
All right.
Big letter shirts have, it's a shirt with one big letter on it, like an A. So it's useful.
Can you put one on the back too, or no?
You'd have to special order that. So if you contact me, there's a way to do that through the website where you can basically email our sales department, which is me, and make that request, and I'll put in a quote.
Yeah, I've tried their customer service. It's kind of not as great as I'd like it to be. So you know what? I will talk with the customer service executive, which is also me, and he'll talk with the janitor, which is also me, and we'll all have a big discussion about how we can improve the customer experience. So if you've got any feedback, just let me know. Okay, we'll do that. So, all right, well, and that's over at biglettershirt.com. Check it out, and 10% for WearTech, and get a letter shirt. I need to get a shirt. Let's talk about that after the show. So.
Absolutely.
All right, let's move on into a segment we like to call Fund Me.
Cha-ching!
Cha-ching is right. Check this out. So there's a new way that you can keep notes by using an old way to keep notes. An old way to make a new way to make an old way. And the cool thing is you can put this in the microwave. And you go, what? Huh? What? Anyway, it's called Rocketbook. Rocketbook Wave. It's a conventional pen and paper, 80-page paper notebook that sends your notes to a mobile device. You can actually scan it in and keep going. When you're ready, if your Rocketbook is completely filled and you're ready to clean it out, simply put it into the microwave and turn on the microwave, and it will clear the notes. So basically, the pens that you use, and I don't know if it's the pens and the paper. I'm assuming there's something with the paper, but the pens that are used are a special thermochromatic ink that disappears at 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So they also used a hairdryer to erase the ink there, and that worked. I don't know how well it does if it leaves any type of residue or residual, so maybe somebody could freeze it or something like that to bring the notes back. So it's not really, it's kind of a secret agent thing, but not as much of a secret agent thing that and well, the biggest thing, I don't know if you saw that, but right down here, I'm now a backer. I will be getting one of these in August. So I won't tell you how much I pledged, but I'm definitely getting one of these notebooks. So it says August. So when that rolls around, we will. I'll have it, and I'll let you know how it goes.
It's pretty cool. the ability to erase the book with your microwave, just that sounds really weird to me.
Yeah.
It sounds almost as weird as that way of recharging your new iPhone by putting it in the microwave, which I don't have an iPhone, so I didn't try it, but I heard it worked.
There's a what? Wait, what?
You put your iPhone in the microwave and it can recharge, right? I think I saw that online somewhere.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that.
yeah. I don't know if it was real, but I know there were definitely people that did it. So
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a way to do it. Yeah, if you cover it properly, maybe, because it does pull out a charge of some. I don't know. No,
it blows up your phone, but it was a way for people to troll. And that's what I was like, are you sure they're not trolling you and saying, oh yeah, put it in the microwave? And it's like, oh, you just destroyed it and you have to redo it. But,
that's okay.
Or, have to buy a new one. But
I've been stuck on that Facebook GIF where they go, watch what happens when he cuts down this tree. I don't know if you've seen that or not.
And it never cuts down.
Yeah, well, it's an animated GIF and he's just chopping away at the tree and he's chopping. And I'm just sitting there going,
and you just keep waiting, and it never happens.
Watching the clock. It's 4:00. Gotta stop. I don't know. Tell me take no more. Practice my speech while I'm watching this thing. Speaking of which, I didn't see your Friends Day video.
Oh, I don't do that stuff. So.
Why not?
I don't know. I didn't even look at it to see kind of what it did, but I probably should have.
Yeah, you should have.
Whatever.
I had my Friends Day. Get with the program. I saw all my Friends Day videos that put them out that day, which is a lot. We're talking about over 1,000 people.
Wow.
Yeah. So, did you watch any of the Friends Day videos? Or?
No, I didn't watch any of them either.
Well, you're not doing social networking right if you don't watch the Friends Day videos.
Yeah, I was like, I see pictures. I probably see all the stuff I want to see, so I'm good to go.
You probably didn't watch the Super Bowl either.
I did watch the Super Bowl.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, what'd you think of it?
It was actually kind of boring compared to some prior years. Nothing really crazy happened. It was two pretty evenly matched teams, so I thought it was kind of on the slower side.
That's what happens. That's what happens when you get two defenses.
Yeah.
And where the offenses are horrible, or not horrible, but they're the defenses are better than the offenses for sure. And Denver was the better defense that day. It was a very boring game. But it was. It was
a good game. I mean, they were both working very hard at it. It's just, it was like, they didn't really get outside that, kind of middle of the field for the most part. And, it was just a lot of back and forth. And, it was fine as a football game, but it just, it wasn't real interesting. And since it's the only football game I watch each year, or pretty much only watch each year, then it's like, maybe next year.
Yeah. For Super Bowl 51. What did you think of the halftime show?
It was okay. Not enough wear tech, in my opinion.
Yeah, I like the stage. It was pretty colorful. That was pretty cool. But,
definitely some high tech there. I like the signs in the stadium. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, and you're right. It should have more wear tech. There's a lot of wear tech on the football field. I mean, from some of the players actually wearing wearable devices, and then they've got the Surface Pros, which are getting information to the players quicker and easier. We should probably figure out how much wearable tech is on there, because we know there's no Google Glass down there anymore. That's for sure.
Yeah, you definitely don't see that.
Yeah, no Google Glass, but there's got to be some other wearable technology out there. So, anywho, let's move on. Where are we going? Let's do that. Oh yeah, let's go to the next. I still haven't put together this intro to this segment. This is the segment we call 3D printed, and students at TU Delft. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's in the Netherlands. They showed the power of the printed stainless steel with the introduction of this. This is called the Arc Bike. It's a 3-month project that they took. It was basically created as part of a research project on how metal 3D printing could be done. And from what I understand is they did that in sections. And the Arc Bike, the way that it has this web shape is for the stability. And also looks really cool. I mean, if you look at that. So it's amazing. And the best part is this is 3D printed steel. This is not plastic. This is not food. This is steel. And think of what we can now create without having. And there's a little bit of welding, if I understand correct. But if a lot of this stuff can be made this way over bending and shaping steel, then we're going to see a lot cooler creations come down the way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Very cool. It's neat because they can 3D print it in such a way that it's still the same, structural integrity. Like it has all the same strength, and they can just add the steel where it's needed for strength, as opposed to, well, it's simpler to use just a big metal tube.
Yeah,
they don't have to use the whole tube. They can just kind of print the parts that they need, and so it can make it lighter, probably more aerodynamic even, because it can be, thinner in the cross directional ways.
Yeah.
Lots of interesting stuff going on there.
And the best part is designs like this. I mean, this is a pretty cool bike. I'd get that myself.
Yeah. And you could even 3D print designs into that structure. Like you could have it where instead of it just being a plain grid, you could have your name printed in there, and your name is part of the grid or something like that, part of that external grid.
Okay.
And it's like, why not?
Oh, yeah.
Like it's all the same amount of time to print it, either way. So,
well, not only that, but I suppose you could work on this the spokes are a special pattern, so they can so they keep the wheel from falling apart. But there's got to be a way to patternize those spokes so you could do some cool stuff. I've even seen aluminum rim wheels on bikes, so it's more of a solid frame. So
yeah,
that'd be pretty cool.
Absolutely.
So, but anyway, that's we got this. This is an article over on High Snob Society. High Snob Society.
High snobiety. I don't know.
Scooby Doo. I don't know. Anyway, if you want to check that out, but pretty cool stuff in the 3D printed realm there. All right, any final thoughts on that, or are we good?
I think when you talk about 3D printed metal, like it opens up a very different world than 3D printed plastic, just being so much more, strong, just a lot stronger. There are a lot more applications for that. It is a lot more expensive. So you're not going to be 3D printing metal stuff at home anytime soon.
Yeah.
I remember seeing a little trinket, kind of this size that had been 3D printed. And I asked somebody, I asked the person I was there with, how much would something like that cost to make up, in materials and, time and stuff. And they're like, oh, about $100. Wow. It's like for this little tiny thing. So did they say how much this bike was supposedly going to cost?
Let me look really quick.
I don't see anything.
I don't remember. Yeah, they were going more towards the fact that this could be done rather than the cost.
Exactly. So that bike might cost, $25,000 in 3D printing, which, or maybe not quite that much, but thousands probably.
Yeah.
Which compared to a bike that you can just go to a bike shop and get, you may not want to do.
Yeah.
But if you one application that I think about for this 3D printing stuff is military appliutations. Yeah. Specifically, you talk about being on a one of those floating fortress, what do they call them? destroyers or whatever, like the big ships that are out there, battleships or whatever.
Yeah.
They can't just, we'll just get Amazon to 2-day deliver, some part. Like they can't really do that. But if they had a 3D printer in metal, they could be printing extra parts for things like as they break of, okay, we need another, part here or another structural piece to replace this one that wore out. Like you can 3D print it and it will be done. It might take it a day to do, but you can't really turn this ship around and go back and buy the part. Maybe you could have it airlifted out to you or delivered or something like that. But imagine if you just could 3D print it. It would be a huge time savings, and in that case, it might actually be cheaper than the alternative because, turning the ship around or having an F-16 fly a part in for you is actually that's very expensive. So a $10,000 bracket, it's cheaper than the delivery fee. So.
Well, I look at it like was it Apollo 13? Which Apollo mission failed? I can't remember offhand.
Who failed?
Yeah, the one they made the movie out of with Tom Hanks.
Well, that one didn't. 13, they came back alive. So
yeah. But you remember that scene? You remember that scene where they said, "Okay," and he dumps a box of stuff. He says, "We got to figure out how to get them back using all these parts." Well, same idea here. It's like because now we're figuring out manned missions to Mars and bringing people to Mars. And so they're going to need to do stuff outside the proverbial box. So if I don't know how this will play into that, if it's a possibility to be able to 3D print stuff like metal, or bring a metal 3D printer to Mars, but maybe it could be drop shipped on a first plane or something like that. But the whole point is that maybe years down the line, it's like you're in the middle of the sea, like you said, you're somewhere where Amazon can't 2-day ship it to you, and you have to print it. And I think that's pretty cool. Yeah. I like that idea.
Yeah, space missions and stuff. It's a lot easier to send up just bulk material than it is to try to guess which parts you're going to need. You're going to need certain parts, but you don't know which of those parts are going to break halfway through. So you want to maybe send all the required parts, but then send a whole bunch of just material and a 3D printer and say, then you can print up replacements when you need them.
Exactly. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So we got that. High Knob Society, they also have links to other places where you can take they have better pictures of the bike, closer pictures, and go from there. So let's get into the focus of the week here. And this is last week I had, I get all these emails every now and then, different infographics and stuff like that. And sometimes they spark interest and thoughts and stuff like that. And there was an infographic that came across my desk, and I had to write an article over on Wearable today about it. It's basically the wearable technology, which is now getting into the billions per year. We're going to start seeing these knockoffs going from there. So when I was at CES, saw many versions of smartwatches. There were a couple that looked like Apple Watches, but they weren't. And then, of course, if you have a popular product, there'll be companies that'll try and get as close to they can without getting, taken down or buck the system or whatever. So there was even one article I read where the guy said he bought a fake Apple Watch at CES, which I find a little hard to believe, but not impossible. So anyway, so I had this company come and over on Wearable today, they said, hey, can you put this infographic up? So we did. It's an infographic where they go over some devices that can be mistaken for the Apple Watch. Devices that cost 1/10 of what the actual product does. And with that, they showed some of these devices that they had, and I think I have this queued up. No, I do not. But anyway, let me call it up really quick. So these are devices. They look like Apple Watches, but they say here's the telltale signs to know that these aren't the devices that you want to get. One of them is if the crowns, the little windy thing on the side, and the buttons are on opposite ends of each other, or if there's one that has a crown and but no button, and that button's actually a USB charging port. That's a fake Apple Watch. The size of the Apple Watch, and there's two sizes to the Apple Watch, 42 millimeter and 38 millimeter. And if this is, and now you can't take a ruler with you, but if it looks smaller than that, then it's probably smaller than that. And then, of course, we have the infographic, which apparently isn't loading right now. Really? Really? It's not loading? That's cray-cray. Here we go. Oh, the system is currently undergoing maintenance. The infographics on not online. Go figure. But anyway, I wrote up a little bit on telltale signs. Check for the OS if it doesn't have an Apple logo on it. The biggest one, and there's two reasons why you want to watch this. Look at the watch and see if it's in the language of your country. If you're in the United States, see if it's got U.S. print on or Chinese print on. If it's got another language on, either it's a knockoff or it's possibly been stolen, and you might want to, you don't want either of them, especially if it's stolen, because then somebody could show up with cops and say, hey, this was a stolen device. We want it back. And then you're out whatever you paid for that watch. So it's just best to go to Apple Specialist Store or an Apple store and get them there, or Best Buy and get them there, rather than somebody that's selling them on a corner in some alley somewhere.
Yeah, and the warranty and all that other stuff will be a whole lot easier if you're buying a real one. The old adage, if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. Applies here a lot. So keep that in mind, especially if you're looking for an Apple Watch. Like, you probably aren't going to find a good discount on one anywhere, because Apple doesn't really discount their hardware until they announce something new. And then they kind of discount the old version generally just a little bit until they run out of stock on it. So if you want to get a discount, that's pretty much what you have to do, is wait for the next one. Or sometimes there's Black Friday sales or something. But generally, like right now, there's no real deals going on for new Apple Watches. Yeah, you might be able to find a used one, but be very, very careful.
Yeah, if there's deals going on, then you'll probably hear about it. Where you'll watch the business rags and they'll say, "Oh, Apple's clearing out some of their stock on Apple Watches and iPhones and stuff like that. So now's a great time to do that." That's usually how that works. But the same goes for other devices as well. In 2014, there were many reports of fake Fitbit wearables showing up, and in January, just this past January, U.S. Customs and Border Protection, I can say that, U.S. Customs and Border Protection, there we go, they seized over $35,000 in knockoff Fitbit bands that came from Hong Kong. Now, think about this. You think you buy a Fitbit, and about a year ago, if you bought a Fitbit, there was an issue where there was rashing on the wearable. So now you buy this faux brand Fitbit that you think is a Fitbit, and all of a sudden it starts to hurt you. And maybe it's just a simple rash, but maybe it's something a little bit more. We've had hoverboards blow up at our feet that are knockoff hoverboards. This is what can happen with these third-party non-name, because they don't go through the regular channels. And if you got something from some company you've never heard of before, and it does something, burns through your wrist or blows up in your wrist or whatever, you might be out in so many different ways. So it's best to go and go through the proper channels, and be very cautious when you get some brand you can't really follow, or you can't go to a store or a website on to get more information.
Yeah, good tips.
Oh yeah, definitely. So, and you have a few. You did a little research on this too, right?
Yeah, Apple is not the only technology being ripped off. Even the Moto 360 gets knocked off occasionally. It was the first round smartwatch that was gaining popularity a couple of years ago. People really liked the look of that, including the designers of cheap knockoffs. So the knockoffs came fast and furious, but most of them that we found are not very high quality. That's how they offer them so cheap. It's kind of sad because it seems like you could offer a decent watch and offer it at a decent price, but they kind of they try to do it as cheaply as possible.
Yeah.
We found one article that talked about a bunch of different knockoffs. One common thing is that most of the knockoffs have very low resolution screens. So that's one thing to look for. How big are those pixels? They shouldn't be that big on these devices. A lot of them don't run a real smartwatch OS. Sometimes they just have a couple of pieces of functionality in them. And then they end up being little more than Bluetooth headsets with these tiny screens on them that basically let you, see your contacts, view a text message, that kind of thing. Very, very, very basic functionality. They don't have apps. Oftentimes that first screen that they show is just a simple graphic. It doesn't animate. Yeah. And it just kind of is the screensaver, and it's meant to look like the actual device's lock screen or, kind of initial screen. But that's the only screen that looks good. Oftentimes the ones that you see in the advertisements are like a sticker on the front of the screen even.
Yeah, definitely.
One thing we did find that was kind of neat is we found a YouTube video of somebody reviewing one of these knockoffs. So that'll be in the show notes. And looking at it, it's obviously meant to look like a Moto 360, but once the person starts using it and they wake it up, it just doesn't look like a Moto 360 at all to me. And as somebody that has one and has looked at that screen, many, many times, it's like, that is definitely not it. And then I looked at the specs on a device that I think are the same one, and the resolution is, half as much as the Moto 360, very low res and like black and white only. And it's got buttons. It doesn't really have a touch screen at all. Yeah. Maybe it can be woken up by that, but generally not. That's another thing to look for is like, do they actually have touch screens or not? Most of the smartwatches do. Some of the cheaper Fitbits don't. Yeah. And that's fine. But if you're looking at a smartwatch that has no touch screen and none of the reviews actually show them doing anything with the touch screen, it's probably just a cheap knockoff, and it's really hard to speak for the quality there. And like Jeffrey said, like, where are you going to take it, afterwards, or if you've got a problem with it, it's just some guy on the street that will probably not be there if you have a problem.
Especially now, the biggest wearable this year, we've talked about this several times, is going to be the Oculus Rift. And people are going to get into the VR thing, and they're not going to want to have to spend hundreds of dollars for the branded VR, the Samsung VR, the Oculus Rift, and stuff like that. So they're going to go to these companies, and 95% of the time, it's going to be okay. You're going to get a lower experience, but you're still going to have a VR headset. It's that 5% that really starts to scare me, because of the fact, even with branded technology, you never know when a Samsung VR headset's going to go awry, and you're putting something on your eyes, you're putting something over your ears, and you want to have that added protection. If something happens, then there's some sort of accountability to that. But with some of these knockoffs, they're gone in the night, and that's it.
Yeah, it's very hard to track them down should you have trouble. So in some ways, you get what you pay for. A lot of that comes down to the support of the product that you're buying. If it's a product that you're not expecting any support, or maybe you just want something to hack on, maybe take apart, use for some other purpose. Sure, the cheap one may be exactly what you're looking for because you're just interested in the basic hardware. So
yeah, I'm guessing you've bought some cheap knockoffs. I can tell you, I bought on Amazon. I bought a 4-port USB plug, which I use for travel, and you know, it was $3-4 on Amazon, but it's definitely a no brand name. So you know, there's a chance that it could cause a fire, just like with any other device. But you know, there's no retribution. There's no way back to the company, and so it's pretty much my risk. So in this case, it's just fine. But you know, you never know.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've had the same experience. You know, sometimes you buy cheap cables because you just need something that, you know, is cheap. Other times you're like, no, I really need to invest in something that will work. And you check out the reviews and try to find a valuable source. And it's the same kind of thing here with technology, just like any other.
Oh yeah. Don't get me started on iPhone cables when you get third-party ones, and then Apple does an update, and then all of a sudden you plug in that cable and it goes, this cable's not compatible with this device. And it's like, yeah, really? So it happens a lot with third-party cables, but so you stick with the branded stuff. I do still have a couple third-party cables that I use for travel, but you never know when that, you know, something like that happens. And go from there. So. But you know, we'll have the link to Wearable, the Wearable.com article, the video, and of course the infographic once they're out of maintenance mode, to show you, because they actually have like 4 or 5 different brands, and this Wearable one has a few brands, and like you said, the YouTube channel will have some ideas for you too. But you know, hey, do you have a wearable that you know you got for Christmas, you got for a birthday that's was supposed to be an Apple Watch, but wasn't an Apple Watch? Let us know. Tell us where it is. Tell us what you did with it. If you want to send it along, you know, email me, and I'll pick up the shipping, and then we'll show it on a future episode. Maybe we'll make this a regular segment, the fake wearable or something like that.
And you reminded me, like maybe you want to make your own Apple Watch using an old iPod Nano, the old square ones, or maybe you can find a used one of those somewhere on eBay. There's probably a lot of them floating around.
Yeah.
And if you've thought about that and you're like, I'd really like it, but I'd really like a watch strap for it, hit me up on Twitter. Let me know. Maybe we can send these out to one of our viewers, one of our listeners.
Cool. Speaking of which, where can they find you?
You can find me on the internet at Luke Luca on Twitter, Luke Luca on Instagram, Luke at wearabletoday.com, or on Google Plus, google.com/plus Luke Wallace.
Sweet. And of course, you can find me over at Geekazine, over at geekazine.com. Think Magazine. Put in a geek. Twitter's Geekazine. That's my corner of the world. If you've gone to Geekazine, you might have seen some small, and wearabletoday.com with some small, our own little downtime issues. Just a side note, I've moved over to new hosting platform, and now it's time to kind of fine tune all the numbers without having to. Oh yeah, I'll throw another gig into the system. You know, VPS. If anybody's ever hosted on a VPS server, they know that, you know, there's times where it's like gets really frustrating to try and control the memory, because if one person shows up or 1,000 people show up, you need to be able to control that. So got some things in place, so you should always be able to go to a page. But if not, you know, just give it a couple minutes and it'll come back. The group is working hard with me to put it all together and go from there. So, also show notes. You know, we're coming up fast to South by Southwest in Austin, and we're both going to be on. We're going to take that small couple week hiatus, and come back nice and refreshed after that, and go from there. So we'll have a show next week. And the following week, and that'll be episodes number 97 and 98, and even episode number 99. And then we're going to take a small little sabbatical, and then we're going to come back with season 4 and episode 100 of Wearables.
100. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome. So, so we're gonna really ramp up for that. So if you got any articles or any information that you want us to talk about on episode 100, I'm hoping to get a couple interviews at South by Southwest for Wearables that we will exclusively show on episode 100, and then go from there. And see where the wind blows us. Where does the wind
Sounds
blow?
great.
Where does the wind blow, Birdie?
Birdie stays inside most of the time, so the wind doesn't blow her around too much. So
Yeah, she just realized that she's indoors. She doesn't like that. I want to be outdoors.
yeah,
Give me that finger.
She would.
Give me that finger. I
Yeah.
want that finger. All right. Well, Luke, thank you very much. Once again, thank you very much for being on the show for going on 4 years. It's crazy.
That's pretty crazy.
So thank you very much, and we'll see you next week.
Sounds good.
All right. And we will see you guys next week. Go over to wearabletoday.com for more information. Of course, iTunes. Subscribe on the iTunes for the audio version. Go over to youtube.com for the video version, or check it out on iTunes as well. Thanks a lot for watching, you guys geek out. We'll see you next week on Wearable Today. And take care and drive safely, because you have to drive after you watching this show. I don't know why, but you do. It's just the thing. Should I say goodbye now? Okay, I'll say goodbye now. Goodbye.